Post Carbon Institute was founded in 2003 to help the world understand that our dependence on cheap fossil fuels makes us extremely vulnerable. PCI foresaw, as recent events confirm, that we're hitting limits, and not only in the availability of cheap oil, we become addicted to growth, but we live on a finite planet. The more we use now, the less we leave for our children. For their sake, we need to live without continuous growth. And we can. We should aim for improvements in our lives that don't increase consumption, and local economies that work without cheap fossil fuels and ever-expanding debt. Post Carbon Institute researches and explores the likely outcomes of economic, energy, and environmental trends, and how communities can respond effectively by building resilience for the challenges ahead. We share this information through publications and multimedia products published traditionally and online. Our target audience is early adopters, those best positioned to act on this information, including PCI's own network of fellows, environmental advocates, philanthropists, and community activists. We have three aims: that 1, allies will include a systemic understanding of limits into their work; 2, that thought leaders will move away from the fixation on growth at all costs; and 3, that communities will take action to build resilience. We're setting a new agenda based on the reality of a finite world, changing the conversation from growth at all costs to living within limits, and building community resilience. We leverage our network of thought leaders, including 30 respected fellows, to influence early adopters in the environment, energy, economic, and equity realms. Through this, we nudge the public conversation toward a more evidence-based discussion about hard choices. We also aim to enhance resilience in thousands of communities and millions of lives, and promote behaviors that are consistent with long-term sustainability until they become ingrained in everyday life. PCI combines evidence-based analysis, creative communications, and concrete, tangible resources. We help individuals and communities become more resilient, to take appropriate action, and to build a healthier future. We employ three strategies. 1, setting a new agenda. We define the 21st century's challenges and ask, how can we build a more resilient society? 2, changing the conversation. We use game-changing books, award-winning videos, hard-hitting reports, and trend-setting social media to shift the dialogue away from how to grow faster to how to live sustainably within limits. 3, building community resilience. Resilient to adapt to an increasingly unpredictable future. Communities because our lives are grounded in local relationships. This is a response everyone can embrace and implement immediately. We don't tout easy solutions, nor do we advocate for specific policies or legislation. Instead, we aim to influence how systemic challenges are framed and to offer ideas and models for transitioning to a sustainable, equitable future. Measuring the impact of these long-term efforts directly is difficult, so PCI gathers indicators, like more than 2 million views of our videos and tens of thousands of reads and downloads of our reports and books. We also track media coverage, anecdotal evidence of increased public discussion of key concepts like resilience, and compelling stories from individuals and groups who changed their lives because of our work. PCI is recognized as an international leader in analyzing and communicating energy limits, but we also promote and share models for building community resilience. We've published a series of guidebooks on ways communities can invest in local economies, build locally owned renewable energy, and develop sustainable food systems. We've also provided key support for the International Transition Network of 1,400 communities in 44 countries. Recently, The Economist referred to PCI as a greenish think tank, but Post Carbon Institute is neither left nor right. We believe in facts, not ideologies. Our evidence-based analysis, supported by 30 respected fellows, is grounded in life on a finite planet. PCI's videos have been viewed more than 2 million times, and one received a YouTube Nonprofit Video of the Year award. Our reports have been cited in The Economist, The New York Times, USA Today, NPR, Nature Journal, and a host of other publications. Global leaders, from the President of the United States to British members of Parliament to the mayor of Seoul, South Korea, read our publications, cite our research, and act on our recommendations. To highlight just one example, PCI's recent white paper on the potential of U.S. unconventional oil and gas is the most comprehensive analysis yet of domestic shale deposits. The issues we address are systemic and complex, and our conclusions run contrary to conventional thinking. To grow our funding base and to reach a broader public, we've used creative communications, worked with partners to keep our expenses low, and focused on influencing innovators and early adopters. Our strategy, curiously, follows that of Milton Friedman, who said, "Only a crisis, actual or perceived, produces real change." When the crisis occurs, the actions that are taken depend on the ideas that are lying around. That, I believe, is our basic function, to develop alternatives to existing policies, to keep them alive and available until the politically impossible becomes practically inevitable. We focus on connecting the dots between energy, the environment, and the economy, analyzing and communicating the reality of our energy predicament, and building community resilience to respond to these crises. With additional resources, PCI could expand our work documenting and educating about the short-term nature of the shale gas and oil revolution, engage our 30 fellows and other experts to create resilience studies for universities, community colleges, and engaged citizens, increase the number of community resilience enterprises in the U.S. and the amount of investment and grant capital that flows to them, and increase the scope and reach of our website, resilience.org, beyond the current 1 million unique visitors a year. Post Carbon Institute focuses on a range of sustainability crises: energy, climate, food, water, economic growth, any one of which could command all of our resources and then some to address. So there's no shortage of potential new activities for us, including increasing our educational offerings, both through formal academia and MOOCs, developing a resilience corps to train young adults with a blend of systemic and practical hands-on community service, forming a network of community resilience building groups that use different models, and working with partner agencies to translate our products into multiple languages and to establish post-carbon outposts in different countries.